Hello there everyone, this is Antojai and I teach people how to turn Ascension into their everyday lifestyle. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, and go ahead and press that little notification button so you can get updates on new videos that are going to come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So Ascension as a lifestyle, all right? The one major thing that I have learned as an Ascension guide and as a healer and as a psychic is that you're always right where you're supposed to be at every moment in your life. And it's not until the moment that you actually realize that you're right where you're supposed to be that movement and change starts happening and you can open up the doors to becoming more magical. What do I exactly mean? I'll give you an example for today, okay? Literally just happened right now. I had to wake up this morning, do a couple business meetings, and then I had to drop off my car to get repairs, okay? Now, while I'm, doing all these things, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to order an Uber. I haven't ordered an Uber in a long time. So I order an Uber, the driver comes in, he's got really good vibes, great Uber rating. We're sitting down in the car ride, and this song, Doves Cry by Prince ends up coming on, and I love that song. And one of the things that Prince says in that song is like, maybe you're just like my mother, maybe I'm just like my mother, and it sparked up this conversation where I was just like, oh, well, I'm just gonna start talking to this guy because we have 15 minutes together, right? So might as well get to know somebody. So I'm like, I really, really love this song because it's so true. Like, there's a lot of people out there who marry their significant other who's just like a replica of their mom or their dad or somebody else who causes some sort of trauma. I was like, I know for sure that's what happened to me when I got married, is what I said to him. I married someone who was essentially just like my mom and just like my dad, like a blend. And when I realized that, I had to get out of my relationship with this person, this marriage with this person. And as I start talking about it, he's like, oh yeah, he starts asking me questions about divorce. And I'm like, yeah, divorce is really hard, when you're going through it, all these things are going on. And I was like, a lot of my friends ended up getting married when they got out of college as well, and then they all ended up finding similarities in it that I did, which we all married people who were not fully developed or people that reminded us of our parents in some way, like triggering like really old school trauma that we've dealt with in the past. And then I was like, what about you? Are you married? And he said, actually, he's like, I'm in the middle of getting divorced right now. And I was like, and once that happened, I literally looked at the clock. It was 11:27 on the clock, okay? And I was just like, okay, like I was supposed to be here in this car ride right now, having this conversation with this person because this person needed to hear what my experience was going through divorce and like how hard it is, and just maybe some sort of pep talk about it. And that's when it hit me, like, I gotta make a video out of this because this is not the first time I've stepped inside of an Uber and I just felt compelled to talk to someone about just a random subject matter, whether it was something on the radio or, they started talking to me about something and I had the expertise to give it to them. So it's like, since this has happened to me so many times, I have come to understand that, like, and I've literally always come down to this conclusion. I ordered an Uber. Most likely I'm going to have to like coach somebody on my ride going home or going to the next spot or something, just because I'm always where I need to be when I'm needed, okay? So like if you've taken any of my classes, if you've worked with me like personally, you know that I'll talk to you through telepathy, through your dreams, through astral space. I'm like literally a summons away if we know each other well and we're working with each other, right? So when I started really realizing that my students and my patients were able to do that with me via astral space, and like I would give them exact like solutions to their problems, and I started seeing that play out in all these other areas of my life, that's where it really started like making sense to me. Like, doesn't matter what it is that I'm doing, even if it seems like I'm running a chore, I'm exactly where I need to be at that given moment Maybe because while running those chores, those areas of the city need a boost of higher consciousness. Or maybe someone is calling out to the cosmos saying, I need answers based off of what's going on with me. Someone please answer me. And then I end up in your Uber car and I start talking about divorce, and you're going through divorce, right? You need to hear that because you're asking for that in the cosmos. When I really started understanding that I was everywhere that I needed to be at any given moment, my life became more easy, because it was as though I'm just following now my natural rhythm, and I am wherever I need to be. The most interesting about the whole entire scenario that I've learned through the many years of doing this, and just the synchronicity of it all, is that, you know, here I am on an Uber ride where I paid for it, but in the middle of my Uber ride, I am still here counseling someone free of charge. So that's like my way of giving back to the community, because this person essentially summoned me to have an alignment with me so we can have this conversation right now. So then I started being like, okay, like once that opened the doors for me, I started really realizing, okay, my healing potential, and I posted this in a previous video on like tips on how to build your healing business. My healing potential is beyond like a session, right? Like I'm a healer all the time. I'm a resonator all the time. I'm an ascension guide all the time. I'm not just an ascension guide or a healer when someone steps into my shop and heals, right? And schedules an appointment. I'm not just an ascension guide when I make a video. I am ascension guide always. I am healer always. And I walk everywhere in that vibration because that's just my vibration. So I have to be okay with the fact that like these moments are going to happen, and I have to roll with it because I work for the cosmos. The cosmos guides me and puts me in flow with the things that need me most. And at the end of that car ride, I told him, because talking to him, my Uber rider, I was like, if you need healing here, like I know how tough divorce is. I was like, come by and free of charge. Like I'll hook you up because I can see the pain that you're going through. And he was just like, wow, thank you so much. You know what I mean? Because I want to give back to people who resonate with what I'm going through. And, you know, it was a very powerful experience for me just this morning, because it was just like one of those things that it really reminds you your vibration when you're existing like this. And the moment that you realize, hey, even if you feel stuck, right? Like this morning I could have woken up and been like, man, my car needs repair. Oh, it's going to be in the shop for like 3 days. Like, what am I going to do? You know, I could have had that vibration. Instead, I was like, okay, this is happening for a reason. My car needs to be fixed for whatever reason. And when I got into my Uber ride, I'm like, oh, this is why I needed to fix my car, because I had to be here to talk to this person who needed me. And it's one of those things that once you, even if you feel like you're stuck and you can manage to tell yourself, I'm exactly where I need to be. What is the purpose of me being here, right? What's the message of this time space, this vibration that's currently happening? You can then start creating movement, because you then start seeing that you are flow itself, not necessarily that you have to step into flow. Stepping into flow is really just acknowledging this present moment. It's acknowledging like, hey, right now, something bigger is happening other than what I can fully perceive. And if that's the case, like, what is that thing that's happening? Sometimes you can identify it. Sometimes you can't. It doesn't really matter whether or not you can identify it or you can identify it. You have to just sit in this space of everything's happening for a reason, right? And this is one of the things that I've had to learn, particularly too with like personal health, right? Like I deal with a lot of people who are going through cancer, and I personally go through like my own health bouts. And one of the things that has really helped me overcome like these depression blues of having a certain like condition happening, or help my patients get past it, is saying like, this is happening for a reason, right? Regardless of whether or not you can see what that reason is, this is happening for a reason. Maybe you developed a certain illness because you have to confront some of the things that are feeding that illness. Every illness stems from consciousness first, from energy, and then manipulates itself into matter and then exists as a physical condition. So if you're dealing with a physical condition, what's the purpose energetically and consciously that you're experiencing this? Find those root causes and your illness reverse engineers itself. Same thing with like your stagnation in your current life. Maybe you don't like your job. Maybe you don't like your relationship. Whatever that is, it's happening right now for a reason. What's the bigger message as to why it's happening? Once you figure out what that is, maybe you have a tendency of dating narcissists all the time. What is that pattern that aligns you with narcissists all the time? Once you figure that out, then you are then, oh wow, like you're in flow because you energetically address the consciousness issue that's manipulating itself into your matter, into your reality, right? So for anything that you're experiencing, you're exactly where you need to be at that given moment, all right? Even if it seems tough. When you start saying you're exactly where you are, chaos forces itself into change. I've talked about this in other videos too. Like chaos forces itself into the format of change, which then opens up opportunities and avenues for you so you can step through 4D into 5D. But if you're sitting here and you're looking at like, I'm not supposed to be here right now, I'm supposed to be somewhere else, I'm supposed to be doing something different, you're constantly living in chaos and you're constantly feeding chaos into your reality, and you will not make a flow shift until you recognize that this present moment is here for a reason. This present moment is because you manifested it. This present moment is just a reflection of yourself trying to give yourself a message on how to move forward. All right. So just like my Uber driver, I was only a reflection of his grander consciousness. I was just a manifestation of him communicating with the cosmos on an answer to come to him. That's powerful. I was exactly where I needed to be so that I could do the best that I could do for the planet, which is being an ascension guide. You are always in place. Doesn't matter what your path is. It's not until you see this where the power of your path will open itself fully to you, and you can start experiencing what people look for such a long time. Your soul journey, your soul path, your soul purpose. And as little as that is, right? Like I've had impact where I've spread quantum Reiki into 122 countries around the globe out of 195 countries. That impact is just as important as that Uber impact where I was sitting down talking to somebody, because the people who summoned my knowledge through the world did the same exact thing that this person in my Uber ride did to get grander consciousness. The impact is the same, right? It doesn't always seem like it's the same because of quantity, distance, time, all the illusionary factors. But maybe today, the biggest impact I could have done for anyone is just being present and sharing my experience like I did with the Uber driver and like I'm doing now. Maybe that is what my soul path and my soul journey is supposed to be doing today. Because a lot of times we look at what is our soul journey, what is our soul purpose, and we're looking at where's the end result, but we're not looking at the moment to moment of like how we're actually existing in that vibration without us realizing it. A lot of times we want the major manifest to happen and come to us, but we're not looking at how the manifest is actually happening. You're only looking at, oh, it'll click all once, it's something super huge has happened. Those moments are really validating, but what happens if you even those moments come through and you don't make a major like observation that you've made shifts into your soul path? Each person you help is your soul path. Each person that takes any sort of wisdom from you or is able to interact with you and find some sort of relief, that is your soul journey. That is your soul path, because we are here to change the vibration of the earth. Doesn't matter if you're a divine light worker, if you're an ascension guide, if you're a grid keeper, if you're a gatekeeper, it doesn't matter. You are in every present moment on your soul journey. is just whether or not you look at it and you say that you're exactly where you need to be at this exact moment, because that's what you've manifested. And that's what the cosmos is asking of you right now. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your path. This is one of the most invaluable things that I could share with you today, because it literally happens to me every day of my life. I will instantly feel like messaging someone on Instagram, telling them, hey, just to let you know, you're beautiful. You got this. No matter what's happening, let go of it. I follow that instinct, and a lot of times people message me back saying, I really needed to hear that today. Thank you. I don't know who you are, but thank you, right? And that was just my purpose, right? Just to like change somebody else's vibration who potentially can produce more energy to change other vibrations around them, right? It's not always about the singular impact that you do. It's the impact that trickles through reality that really matters when it comes down to your soul purpose and how you live your day-to-day life. This is Ascended Master Antojai sending you all of my love. Thank you for being part of this community. Definitely support the Patreon community, Antojai Ascension Academy. You can check those links and everything down low. It helps us create more awesome content and courses for people. Thank you. Subscribe, comment, share. See you on the next one.